Well, we know GTA these days is a bit up in the air, and the bad taste the GTA Trilogy remasters have left as well aren't doing it any favours. But let's for a moment forget about that and travel all the way back to October the 31st, 2006. "15 years ago, you were maybe in the store with your parents or just by yourself if you were the right age to buy adult games. You look over and spot the display for Vice City Stories on Sony's amazing PSP handheld console, and you buy it and know you are in for a treat since you played Liberty City Stories a while ago. Then you get home, you get the PSP out, open that amazing game case, get the UMD in it, slap it in the PSP, and the journey through an awesome game finally began." That, my friends, was my memory of picking up Vice City Stories and playing it for the first time, and boy did I play the heck out of it. So many times that PSP needed to get recharged while playing through that amazing game. Vice City Stories has this real allure to it for me. Maybe it's the 80s atmosphere being amazing, maybe it's the weather, or maybe it's just how much of this game felt on the level of a PS2 was compacted down into such a small handheld console at the time. Though in reality, it's not just one thing, as Vice City Stories has a lot to offer and is a favourite among GTA fans, as well as one of my faves too, obviously. More than Liberty City Stories was, despite Vice City Stories being the lowest in the sales ranking of the other GTA games combined. Vice City Stories takes a lot of what made Vice City great in terms of its overall look and enhances the 80s theme a lot more, with bright neons, writer peds, and a host of new additions to the game as well. Not on San Andreas' scale, but enough that worked well for the PSP's size and limitations. So the overall quality is PS2 standard to a degree, but obviously scaled down for the PSP's screen, which would have looked something like this. The colours feel a bit more saturated, but I think that might have been done with a PSP in mind. Though the biggest thing that stands out as being better than base Vice City was the new addition of, well, neons as said. Now Vice City, as 80s as it is, kind of lacked more bright colours and, well, neons that you'd expect to be associated with the time period. So Vice City Stories added this in, and I gotta say, seeing the city at night with them on is some of the most beautiful looking scenery to me, and a very fond memory too. Though thankfully with the Vice City Neons mod created by 13AG, you can have the neons from Vice City Stories in Vice City, which, well, makes the game feel more 80s to me personally. Very worth checking out if you got it on PC. Honestly, I could go on about the look of the map and neons for ages, especially when it comes to the PS2 port of the game and the upgrades and fixes that I had done there. But we'd be here for like a whole hour on just that. So a summary is, the map has some interesting parts, such as some places under construction, some fun Easter eggs, and in the case of the PS2 version, an Easter egg under construction. I really like the little details honestly, and I love that they put the effort into it. Now, the story of this game is among one of my faves amongst the 3D era. To literally play as Lance's brother Vic, and see the world and Lance through his eyes was just honestly amazing. After coming away from Vice City and Lance's betrayal, it was a treat to see him back in this prequel and to understand why he is the way he is and was in Vice City, to me was just really amazing. Though I really despise him in the Light My Pyre mission for reasons. Speaking of characters though, we got many returning faces as well as new ones made just for this game. They all breathe life into the game and just make it all more real and connected. One of the technical returning faces for this game would be Vic Vance, since last time we saw him would technically be in the intro of Vice City, which unfortunately led to his death. Though with how retcon-like Vic is in Vice City Stories, many fans like myself just believe the character in Vice City is Pete rather than Vic, despite Rockstar confirming that it was Vic that died in the intro. But honestly, Vic overall in this game makes him one of my fave protags as well. From his general attitude to how he handles things to the bickering he does with his brother Lance too. It all just makes him one of the best of the 3D era for me. The returning characters can sometimes feel a bit, well, like fan service to be there just for being there. But then it's great all these celebrities that voiced them came back to voice the characters again. It just makes it feel so fun as a prequel to the events that would happen in Vice City. Though one thing I think we can all agree on is the cameo of Phil Collins himself playing, well, himself in the game. To me this was one of those huge surprises, since I was a fan of his music and really liked his In the Air Tonight song too. Holds a lot of fond memories to me, so it just made everything just an extra bit better. Then finding out the audio for the live performance in Vice City Stories is taken from his No Ticket Required video that was released on VHS back in 1985, just made everything a huge amazing moment honestly, and just made it so memorable. Now we come to some of the more unique features of the game. There are a few, but they all add up to make the game even more fun, and honestly, even better considering it was on the PSP. We got swimming in Vice City, so Vic won't sadly drown like Tommy. But then again, with the power of mods, you can give Tommy the ability to swim, as you can see here. Then we come to the ability to be able to buy special vehicles, and even the ability to buy back your weapons after getting wasted or busted. This was such a fun feature to have. It made the thought of wasting more in-game cash to get weapons again a whole lot more easier. If you happen to have the PSP version, or still do, you can enjoy the multiplayer mode it had, which, like Liberty City Stories, had as well. Sadly, the multiplayer was removed from the PS2 port of the game, so you can't enjoy the game modes unless you have the PSP copy still. Sadly, as of now though, on PC, the PPSSPP emulator can't play, well, the multiplayer. But man was that multiplayer fun to play on the original hardware. Many hours poured into it after unlocking the content for it by playing the main story of the game. Overall, with everything I have gushed out over, I still feel Vice City Stories is a very underrated GTA game, and this is added to the fact as it's the only GTA that never got a mobile port like every other 3D era GTA title has had. This could be due to licenses, or maybe getting Phil Collins' likeness rights again. Though from what I have read on the internet, he apparently really liked working on Vice City Stories, so I can't imagine he would turn down giving permission for his likeness in a re-release. But overall, GTA Vice City Stories feels like it's been forgotten by a lot of people. Though there was a total conversion mod for GTA San Andreas that ported GTA Vice City Stories to PC. But sadly, due to some complex stuff involving a lot of reverse engineering of the files to get code and data out, and obviously real life stuff, it's long since been cancelled. Rounding up my final thoughts on the game though, I think it's a title many should play if they haven't already, or if you have played it, play it again via emulation. You can enhance the game now to look even nicer, and honestly, just going down memory lane and enjoying a freaking good story. Plus with a plugin for PCSX2 made by Topaz TK, it will allow you to dump textures and load custom ones on the 1.6.0 build of PCSX2 and allow you to enjoy your own custom creations or HD'd up textures. Like for example, I reskinned Vic's orange pastel suit to be a nice white suit with a blue shirt instead. Also, a user by the name of Tervel is working with 2 other people on HDing up the UI and pause menu of Vice City Stories to be higher quality and breathe a bit of new life into this classic. So wrapping up, give Vice City Stories a try, and if you have, play it again and relive the good moments from it, and the bad ones too with some tough as nails missions. If you can do emulation, emulate it and experience it in a better way too. Vice City Stories is worth it and will always remain a favourite to me. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video and I hope you enjoyed it. Any mods or plugins featured in this video will be linked in the description below. Also, I now stream a lot more on Twitch, so if you ever want to hang and chill out, feel free to come on over to my Twitch. I also usually post on Twitter too, and have a schedule up when I go live. So again, thanks for watching guys, and catch you in the next one. Bye!